In the small, rural town of Green Hollow, there stood an old, dilapidated house at the end of a forgotten road. Locals whispered that it was cursed, that no one who entered ever came out the same. The house had been abandoned for decades, its once vibrant facade now rotting and overgrown with ivy. Yet, every now and then, a curious soul would venture inside, only to leave with stories of terror and madness. One Halloween night, two teenage friends, Ryan and Stephen, decided to explore the house on a dare. They had heard the stories, but they were skeptical, eager to prove their bravery. Armed with flashlights and a camera, they approached the creaking front door, their breath visible in the cold night air. The door swung open with an eerie groan, inviting them into the darkness within. The boys wandered through the decaying rooms, their flashlights casting long shadows on the peeling wallpaper and broken furniture. As they made their way to the basement, they found a rusty, padlocked door. Curiosity getting the better of them, they broke the lock and descended the narrow, creaky stairs into the pitch-black basement. The beam of their flashlights revealed a series of grotesque, disturbing paintings on the walls, depicting twisted, nightmarish versions of familiar cartoon characters. Whoa, what is this place? These paintings they're so creepy. Yeah, I don't like this one bit. We should get out of here. In the center of the room stood an old television set, surrounded by discarded, broken toys. I can't help it. I'm going to turn on the TV. Ryan, unable to resist, turned on the TV. The screen flickered to life, displaying static before showing an old episode of a familiar cartoon, The Ren and Stimpy Show. Wait, something's wrong. Look at their faces. The characters, Ren and Stimpy, were depicted in a grotesque, hyper-realistic manner, their expressions filled with pain and anguish. The episode played out in a nightmarish sequence, with Ren turning on Stimpy in a violent, graphic manner, far removed from the absurd humor they remembered. We need to turn this off now. The boys tried to turn off the TV, but it wouldn't budge. It's not working. Why won't it turn off? The images grew more disturbing, and the air grew colder. Suddenly, the TV screen went black, and a distorted voice echoed through the basement, whispering their names. We're trapped! The door won't open! Panicked, they tried to leave, but the basement door slammed shut, trapping them inside. The basement seemed to come alive, the walls closing in as the grotesque paintings began to move, their eyes following the boys. Shadows danced around them, whispering and laughing in sinister tones. The air grew thick with dread, and the boys could feel an unseen presence closing in on them. We have to do something! Smash the TV! In their desperation, they smashed the TV, causing it to explode in a burst of sparks and smoke. The oppressive atmosphere seemed to lift momentarily, and they heard the basement door creak open. Ryan and Stephen never spoke of what happened that night, but they were never the same. The house at the end of the forgotten road remained abandoned, its curse still intact. The townsfolk continued to share stories of the house's horrors, warning anyone who dared to listen. Years later, a group of paranormal investigators visited Green Hollow, intrigued by the tales. When they reached the basement, they found the broken TV and the disturbing paintings still on the walls. But they also found something else. A tattered, blood-stained journal belonging to a man who once lived there, a former animator for the Ren and Stimpy show, who had gone mad trying to bring his creations to life. The journal detailed his descent into madness, his belief that the characters were real and that they wanted revenge for the pain he inflicted on them in his art. The investigators left the house, their findings confirming what the townsfolk had always known. Some stories are better left untold, and some doors are better left unopened. And so, the house at the end of the forgotten road stood as a grim reminder of the horrors that lay within, waiting for the next curious soul to cross its threshold and face the terrors of the basement. This story incorporates the eerie, unsettling atmosphere and dark humor of Ren and Stimpy, creating a chilling horror tale set in a real-world scenario.